Hey class, my name is Farrell Carter. I'm friends with Greg Girardi and Alex Cunningham, and they're right there. And I have cystic fibrosis. I'm assuming y'all say "Hey Farrell" after that, like a alcoholic class. Anyway, that was weird. I guess they're going to interview me and see how my day-to-day life is and how cystic fibrosis affects me.
First question. How long have you been diagnosed with cystic fibrosis, and how did the doctors know that you had it?
I was diagnosed the day I was born. They knew something was wrong with me while I was in my mom's tummy, but they didn't know exactly what, so they did what they call a sweat test, which I guess, so when I sweat out salt crystals, and they saw that I had salt and diagnosed me like that. They also did my brothers too, just to see if they were carriers, because I think 1 out of every 25 people, if I'm not mistaken, is a carrier. I guess I had to be unlucky enough for both of my parents to be carriers, 1 out of every 25 people. And then there's still only a 25% chance that I would be born with CF. So lucky me.
Okay. How does it affect your day-to-day life in regards to things like eating, and what type of medications you have to take every day?
So I have to take enzymes, which I have some right here actually. Lucky y'all. They're called Creon. There's different types, but basically they're enzymes to digest my food. I've got to take 7 of these. You can see how big they are. They're pretty big, next to like a pack of gum here for relative size. Yeah, so I got to take 5 of those or 7 of those every time I eat, meal or snack. I've got to eat a lot more than people, like 5,000 calories a day. Your body can't process that much, but I try to do it just to maintain weight. I also take a prophylactic antibiotic every day just to make sure no stupid little like flu or something like that, or anything comes up like a cold or something, because that gets exacerbated really easily with how thick my mucus is. Other than that, no, a lot of people do like breathing treatments and stuff like albuterol to clear up the lungs and stuff, but usually I just stay active instead of doing that.
And a lot of people with cystic fibrosis have a lot of issues with their lungs and their respiratory system, but I know yours is mostly digestive system. Mm-hmm. So do you want to talk about that?
Yeah. So I'm actually lucky. The majority of the people that have like a tough time with cystic fibrosis and are really in and out of the hospital a lot, really sick, theirs is in their lungs, which the mucus is thicker. With the thicker mucus, you get more bacterias and more infections, which is tough to get out. Hence the breathing treatments and all that stuff. How it reminds with the digestive system. So really, I just have to take these pills. Make sure I'm doing everything right, eating well, and staying active. Even though my problem is in my gut and doesn't have to do with my lungs as much, it's still important to, maintain a healthy workout. So
what type of physical activity do you do every day, and is it affected by your cystic fibrosis? And also, do you think that your physical activity helps your disease?
Very much so. So I play basketball almost every day. I'm on the scout team here, which you actually play on the team with me. Intramural sports, all that kind of stuff. So luckily, no, but for the majority of people, it's kind of like having asthma. You have to stop after every few plays, but if you ever play with me, then people know that that's not true. I keep going, so.
And one last question. What about any type of surgeries you've had, or have you had any like major complications, anything life-threatening?
Wow. Okay, so show and tell time. I had this scar. I don't know if you can see it here. Was the night I was born. They did a bowel resection, so 3 to 4 inches of my bowel actually got taken out, and they just sewed it back together. This was a fundoplication, which is there's a wrap actually at the top of my stomach here that prevents me from throwing up. A bunch of people that are so you got this scar here and then this, so I won't just have my shirt up the whole time. So The bigger of the two scars, the one that's right down the seam of my stomach, is the fundoplication. A lot of older people have it with acid reflux. They get it so it's not as bad, and I just had that when I was like 7, so it was really bad. But took care of that problem. Fast forward like 2 years, they went in again, the same scar, to take out my gallbladder and appendix because those were bothering me too. It had to do with I don't know, a bunch of stuff. I was like 9 at the time. And then there was like a little hole there. Shaking. That was a feeding tube, so I wasn't gaining weight when I was like, I don't know, 10, 11. And they put this feeding tube in me, so they like filled me up with food overnight, every night till I was like 15, until I was like healthy enough because I was smaller than everybody and stuff. So until I had a growth spurt. So that's pretty much all. I know that they what's common in CF patients is polyps, and so I've had a bunch of surgery. I actually hold the record at Duke Hospital for the youngest person to have sinus surgery. I hang my hat on that too. Have sinus surgery. I was 3 months old. They didn't even develop yet. But I had polyps in there, and they took it out. Went back in 3 months later. Had the same thing. Took it out. My parents were freaking out because they thought like it's gonna be miserable if he has to go in every 3 months. But luckily it didn't. I didn't grow any more polyps until this past year, which I took them out, but it wasn't a big deal.
All right, and anything else you just want to tell the class about yourself?
No, I guess that I'm lucky that it doesn't affect me as much as everybody else. So I guess stay positive and yeah, cool.